like we ask you this every week, but how are you feeling physically?
I feel good. Yeah, I really do. I'm starting to feel pretty good, with just what's going on the last couple of weeks, and the rest of the body's holding up well, so can't complain.
You play in a lot of cities, a lot of environments, a lot of fan bases. What stands out about your 5 weeks here?
Oh, man. Well, I think just being in Ohio, and you can just tell, how much football, means to people in this part of the country, and from the time they were probably young. So everybody has that good knowledge of football, and you can tell they care about it a lot, and they have those expectations, and they get themselves excited to come in and cheer for us in those games. I've played here a good amount, and honestly, I probably missed that part of it a little bit. You don't, but when you're here and you kind of walk around the city and you get to see people from here, you can tell how into it they are, just with the little hoo-days on the side of the road and things like that. I'm not quite sure how to respond yet. I still feel a little funny saying it, but I'm getting there. So.
You guys have built up a rapport throwing with Jamar and T, and somewhat to Andre because he's the third guy, but with no Jamar this week, how many reps have you gotten in with some of those other guys, Mitchell and Charlie Jones?
Yeah, well, not a ton, but I think when we have, Tinsley's made some plays, so, you got to feel pretty good about it going in. And it's always cool, honestly, when these types of things can come up for whatever reason, because it's opportunities, for young players to come in and show what they're all about. So I think only good can come from that.
How did Joe look?
Joe looked good, yeah. It's cool to see him out there, and obviously when you're both now taking reps and things like that, some conversations kind of happen, and just like, how do you see this versus that? But yeah, Joe looked good.
Seems like you got a good rapport with T. You're throwing 4 touchdowns to him. What's his catch radius like?
Yeah, I think we've all seen his radius. It's a little bit different. I think you come in and you obviously have an idea of what somebody like him may be like, and just from afar. But when you get to see it up close and in person, it doesn't disappoint. He has a lot of skills that make it very obvious why he is the player he is.
What surprised you about maybe once you get to play with him weekly that you might have changed, that you didn't see from afar that you saw up close?
Well, I think you probably see a taller guy that runs decent. You just assume he could probably go up for the ball and run down the sideline and do those kind of things. But I think just throwing slants to him and just little things. I don't know what he ran in his 40, but when he gets the ball in his hand and the speed that he's able to keep kind of throughout his routes, and when the ball's in the air, through the catch point, he looks like he's just moving. He's got that speed to him. I've thrown a couple crossing routes to him in practice that I'm just like, whoa, how fast was he going right there? He was really moving across that football field. So I think just the speed that he's had, and in terms of his ability to catch balls underneath and make them big plays. And then I keep saying it, but his ability to attack the ball while it's in the air. It's a very subtle thing, and sometimes you don't even know that's what he was doing. But he has a very good ability to go attack the ball in the air and make it be, just make it look like maybe even a little bit better throw than it was.
Can you walk us through that touchdown y'all had, and kind of what the play was, and kind of how that extended to him?
Yeah, he was just running a shallow cross across the field, but I honestly had a lot of time on that play, so I was able to stand back there for a long time, and then he just kind of saw me standing back there. We probably locked eyes slightly, and he turned it up. So,
what's he been like to get to know off the field? What's he like?
Yeah, we were just laughing. We were just walking in here kind of laughing a little bit because I was laughing as to how many nice cars we got in our parking lot over there. I would say this is a pretty good collection of cars in terms of the teams that I've been on. And we were kind of just laughing about that because he's a part of that. I'm walking to my Ford Expedition, and he's making the whole, he's making that whole parking lot like sound like it's going through the worst thunderstorm in the world, while he's pulling out with his little thing. So, it's been good. These guys are good guys. They're good football guys, but man, that locker room, it's a cool spot. I mean, I can't share with you all the crap that we talk about because it's not appropriate. But it is. It's so much fun. Even before we were going out to practice today, just the stuff that we were, it's a very unique profession in the terms of what we get to talk about while we're on the job. So
Was there a time in your career where you had that car?
no, never, never, never indulged in any of that. And I still don't have the desire to. There's time, like the furthest I go is like you go on the website and say what if, but you can never actually get anywhere past that.
Well, you've signed a few contracts over the years here. Why not? Why hasn't that been an issue?
I don't think I fit in those things for one. But all I would end up doing is getting in trouble if I had one of those.
What kind of challenges does a defense like New England's face, especially in a game where you're not going to have a guy like Jamar to be able to exploit them with him?
Well, I think they got a lot of talent and they're really well coached. I think when you have that combination, then you got to, make sure you're on all of the little details of everything that you do. Their head coach played there, throughout his career, and kind of now as the head coach of the Patriots, he probably learned a lot of things from the type of culture that he grew up playing in, that he's able to bring to the team that he's now coaching, and just that culture and that mindset, of being physical and being confident. I think it obviously shows in their team right now.
Did you play against him? I know you overlapped. Your careers overlapped for a brief time, but remember?
I assume we did, but I can't honestly tell you.
Did you, do you see any, the way they play defense, is it at all anything that Bill would throw at you, or is it a different system? Or is it...
It's tough to say. I'm sure there's similarities there, but it's tough to look back on all that we did and say yes or no.
What do you see in Christian Gonzalez?
Yeah, a good corner. What's this, his second year? So is that right? Yeah, so third. So he's still young, but I mean, his ability to be physical, and I think when you look at him, the way he plays certain routes and where he likes to be, where he kind of likes to position himself, but then he's also aware of, because he's positioned himself in this way, he's aware of where the throw may be if you were to make one. So he's also, you can tell he's thought about how he likes to cover guys and where he likes to be in relation to, maybe the high shoulder, the low shoulder, inside, outside, and then the play off of that. So
T ran a 4.54, just in case you wanted to know.
there you go. Yeah, I think he play. I mean, that's fast, but I think he plays faster.
Jamar had 35% of your targets so far. Does it change your preparation at all for the week, knowing that he won't be out there?
No, not really. I mean, because it is one of those things. I mean, obviously, as you're game planning and you have Jamar Chase, you're going to create opportunities for him. But as the quarterback, it wasn't like I was looking his way over something else just to do it, just because it was Jamar. So no, it doesn't. I think as we get into the game and we learn how these guys are going to play us, then you have to go off. You might have to make some adjustments, just like you do every week. But in terms of my preparation, it stays the same.
Is there anything about besides how good the receivers are? Is there anything about the system that makes quarterback maybe make it kind of hell, you only practice 5 times, you're throwing for 300 yards a game. So is there anything in there? Yeah, there is for sure. I think these guys. I think
I think our coaching staff, the fact that they've been together for some time and they all have one mind and they're all working together to kind of come up with these game plans, and they know each other, and they've dealt with having Jamar and T, and they've worked their way through like different concepts and really how to get guys open versus man and versus zone and this coverage and that coverage. I think they've done a lot of, I think they've had to, because of the time they've been together and the amount of games they've played together, come up with some really cool ways to, go against some unique coverages, but then also attack the regular ones. And I do think anytime you get, our head coach is an offensive guy, and he's a part of that. And I think when you're a quarterback, there can be a slight advantage to being in a system, where your head coach is, an offensive side of the ball guy, and is not going to be shy to kind of do some things that he really feels like are going to take us over the edge on that side of the ball.
What have you got to know about Mike Gesicki if he's,
Yeah.
available?
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think I threw the ball to him at all the first week I was here before he got hurt. It happened pretty early, but it seems like it was, a year ago already, but a couple weeks ago, I did get a full week of preparation with Mike, and just got to feel a little bit out about how he runs routes and how he gets open, so.
Played against Vrabel twice, but when he was with the Chiefs.
There you
not the
go.
Patriots,
There you
he got
go.
any sacks on you.
Okay.